So today we'll be solving question number 3 of ISC 2012, which was on sorting a double dimension array as well as printing the maximum value, minimum value along with the positions. And what we'll be doing over here is that we'll be sorting it in place, meaning that I do not intend to create a second array for sorting. What we'll do is we'll sort it in place, and if you notice carefully, the first part, okay, let's read the question first. So we have to declare a matrix A of size m by n, that is, it's a rectangular array. They have given the size of m and n, and the range is between 2 and 20. Now the first step is very straightforward. We have to display the input matrix. So what we'll do is we'll overload the toString method. Now the second thing is find the maximum and minimum value in the matrix and display them along with their position. So we have to find the maximum and minimum, and we'll write a function in such a way so that this same function can be used to facilitate the sorting, which we'll be doing in the next part of the question, that is sort the elements of the matrix in ascending order, right? So the core thing over here is that we are not going to take a second array to sort, because that will require first you create a second array, then you transfer the content from double dimension array to the single dimension array, sort the array, and then place it back. That's too much of work, right?
Yes.
So, and this will be more efficient as well, both in terms of space as well as time. Okay, so let's begin. So what they are saying is that we have to first take the input m and n and then the array, then we have to display. Let's move in order one by one. So first thing is we'll prompt the user to enter the array. So system.out.println, print, and we'll say input, we'll say /t, and then we'll say m is equal to. Now this will be followed by int m is equal to in dot next int to take the input. Then we'll display the message or the prompt for the second input. I'll again paste it, but this time we'll get rid of this, and we'll say n is equal to, and let's give some space so that it looks good. Okay, now once this is done, we'll again repeat the line to take the input, but instead of m we'll make it n. So this take care of the entering of dimensions. Now we'll check for the validity. So they said that, where is it, m and n must be greater than 2 and less than 20. So if m is more than 2 and n is more than 2 and m is less than 20 and n is less than 20, so this is the constraint. If this is given, then we'll proceed normally, else we'll display the message. What was the message exactly? The message was output size out of range. So I'll copy this and we'll paste it over here. System.out.println, and we'll say output /n /t out of range. Any doubts till this point?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Now the next thing is, as usual, we'll be creating a proper object-oriented programming. So we'll create a matrix. We'll create a class by the name of matrix, and then that will have a double dimension array. We'll say int a. Just for the sake of completeness, we'll have m and n also. Please note this is not necessary, but I don't want to type a dot length and a of row dot length many times, so I'm storing it over here. Okay, this will be followed by the constructor so that we can initialize the thing. So public matrix, and we'll pass int m comma int n, and then we'll have to create an array. So a is equal to new int m and n. So this will create an array, plus we'll say that okay, this dot m is equal to m, and we'll also say that this dot n is equal to n. So the array is done. Now we need to make a function for entering the values. So public void get input, and here also we'll require a scanner object. Scanner in is equal to new scanner system dot in, and then we'll have to close the scanner object. So we'll close the scanner object. Now we'll need a loop. So int row is equal to 0, row is less than, we can say a dot length and we can say m,
Yes,
but I'll
m.
say m so that it looks neat also. So row plus plus, and then we'll say for int column is equal to 0, column is less than n, column plus plus, and then we'll enter the value. We'll say a of row call equals in dot next int. So this will take care of the input. Our array will be entered once this portion is executed. So here what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to say matrix obj is equal to new matrix. We'll pass our value of m and n. Done. Once this is done, we'll call, no, we'll have to display the message also before we enter, right?
Yes, sir.
No, there is no message. Directly we have to enter, right? So we'll straight away say obj dot get input. So input part is done. Okay, now the next part is, where's the question gone? Here, find the maximum and minimum value in the array. So let's call it compute minimum position and compute maximum position. Please note, I'm making two separate functions for this. The reason being because when we'll sort, we'll try to use this function again. So if I do both of the thing in the same place, then unnecessarily when we are sorting, we'll be needing the minimum value because they are asking us to sort in ascending order. I don't want to find the minimum and maximum every time repeatedly. So I'll make two separate functions, one for calculating the maximum and one for calculating the minimum. Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So let's create the variables, or rather the instance variables which will be required for this. So I'll need to find the minimum row. I'll need to find the minimum column, plus we'll be needing the variable for storing the min and the max. So this takes care of the instance variable which will be required. Now we have to make compute minimum position. So I'll go over here and I'll say public void compute minimum position. Is the spelling okay? Yes, it looks okay. So this is done. So this function when called will compute the minimum position and it will store it over here. Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Now here things will start becoming slightly different. Now I'll just explain it with the help of the diagram so that you can understand what we are trying to achieve now. So what we are trying to achieve is, let me switch over to drawing mode. Okay, so we have a double dimension array, right? And though the second part is only asking us for the minimum and the maximum along with the position, we'll design the function so that we can specify the starting point from where we want to calculate the min and the max. So what I'll be doing is that first time I'll pass, let's talk about minimum first. So I'll say the starting point is 0, 0, that is this point. So we'll start finding the minimum from this point till the end of the array, and that is done. But what we'll do is we'll make it a generalized function, meaning we'll pass from where we want to start, whether we want to start from here, here, or here, or here, or from wherever. So the idea is that when we'll move to the sorting part, we'll find the minimum, swap it with the first position.
The first element.
Then we'll find the minimum in the remaining portion, we'll swap it with the second position. Then we'll find the minimum in the third position and we'll swap it with the wherever the minimum is. So this way, as we'll move this starting point forward, our array will keep on getting sorted and it will not be inefficient also. Otherwise, like if you find the minimum in the whole, and then it will be a wastage of time, right? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
are you able to get what I'm trying to do? So now we'll
Yes, I
write a
got it.
function to find the minimum, and we'll pass two arguments so that we can give the starting position from where we want to find the minimum from. So this function will actually take two parameters, int start row comma int start column, from where we want to start. So let's begin. We'll go inside. We have already taken the min and the max, so let's assign it. So we'll say that, let's assume that the start row, the element at the start row and the start column is the minimum. We'll first assume it to be minimum and then we'll compare it with the rest of the elements. Making sense? So let's begin.
Yes, sir.
So we'll say a of start row and then we'll say a of start column. So whatever the starting point is, we are treating it like as the minimum, just like we do in a single dimension array. Remember, we say that, okay, let's minimum is equal to a of 0 0. We are doing the same thing over here, but instead of fixing at 0 0, we are starting from start row start column. And then I'll say that, okay, I'm assuming that this is the row of the minimum value and this is the row of column of the minimum value. So we'll say that, okay, min row is equal to start row. That's what our assumption is. And min col is equal to start call. So these are our two assumptions, and now we'll start the loop. We'll say for int row is equal to start row. Instead of starting from 0, we are starting from start row. So we'll say row is less than m row plus plus, and then we'll say for int call is equal to start call, and then we'll say call is less than n, and then we'll say call plus plus. Now note one more thing. Once you have started from the row, for the next row you don't want to start from that position. I'll explain with the help of an example what I'm saying. Let's say the start call is this, okay? So we are starting from this, but we want the loop to go over here next time, not over here. So once the value is initialized, we have to move it to 0 again, so that the next row or the next column starts from the beginning. So what we'll do is that once we are over here, we'll say that, okay, now the variable, what you call, start row is 0. So the next time it doesn't cause any problem. And similarly,
So start call.
oh, sorry. We'll
And
say,
sir, it should be after, at the end, I guess.
no, it doesn't matter actually. Once it is stored in row, we just want it to be restored back. Okay, hold on. But there's no need to initialize row. Let's do it for the column. Okay. What I was thinking is that I was not going to make a separate function for compute maximum. I'll just copy paste it and then change it. So that's why I want to take the start row variable also. You're getting the point? Okay, let's make
Yes,
it 0,
sir.
no problem. So I'll say start row is equal to 0. Once it's done, we'll make it 0. And similarly, we'll have to make start call also equal to 0. Once it is done, we'll say start call is equal to 0. Now, once we come over here, we'll check that if a of row column is less than our assumed minimum, then this should be the new minimum, isn't it? So we'll
Yes,
say
sir.
that minimum is equal to a of row call, right? And then we have to update the minimum row and minimum column also. So I'll say minimum row is equal to row and minimum column is equal to column. So once this function completes, our minimum will be stored in the variable min. The row of the corresponding position of the minimum will be stored in min row and min column. Any doubts in this?
So one thing I was thinking about that, why have we first thing put start row is equals to 0?
So that when it comes next time when it is called, it starts from 0. It doesn't start from this value.
So
We can
So
skip
why-
it, I believe. There's no need. Now start column is more important. Hold on, let me think. Okay, this we can get rid of. I'm commenting this out for the time being. Okay.
And so like we have placed start call just before the if condition.
We
Okay,
don't need
that-
start call. Please understand, the next time you start the row, we want to start from the 0th column. That's why I'm making it start call is equal to 0.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, sir. I got that. Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, like, it won't find the maximum in the correct range. So now what I'll do is I'll copy this and then we'll save it, and we'll make minimum into maximum, and we'll quickly change the, oops, what I'm doing, minimum into maximum, and we'll quickly change the name. So this will become max, this will also become max, this will also become max, this will also become max, and the sign will also change, isn't it?
Yes, yes, sir.
And then max, max, and this also becomes max. Make sense?
Yes, sir. So we
Okay,
have to define the max row and max column.
I defined it. No? Acha, okay.
Yes.
Min row, min column. Acha, okay. Hold on. Max row, max column means, wait a minute. Where to define it? Over here only. So min row, min col, and max row, comma, max call. So that's it. Control Shift I to indent it again. Okay, let's go down. So done. Right? So minimum is found and the maximum is found. So then what? Then we have to print it. So in order to print it, I'll have one more function. So we'll say public string to string, and then we'll say string output is equal to nothing. We need two loops running for the full place. Again, we'll use some quick copy paste to make our job easier. So I'll just copy it from here, right? This is the same
Yes.
loop which we want. So we go down and we paste the loop over here, but obviously we don't want to enter. So we'll remove this line from here. Instead, we'll say that, okay, output plus is equal to this plus slash t. This is not a good way to add slash t because one extra slash t will be added at the end, right?
Yes, sir.
So the solution is we'll use an if. So we'll say that if, what's the name of the variable? Call. If call is less than n minus 1, right? Then we'll do this addition, otherwise we won't do that addition. So output plus is equal to slash t. And then between these two, we'll enter a new line. So we'll say output is equal, plus is equal to slash n. So that should take care of the input. What is the
So
problem
in the
over?
output, I
Hold on,
believe there was
we forgot to return. Wait. Return output. Yeah, what you're saying?
so in the output, I think there was a space in the beginning also, like before
Oh, yes,
we
yes,
are
yes.
start.
It was. So right over here, we'll say output plus is equal to slash t. Done. So
Yes.
string to string. So this is done. So now the next step is we'll have to say original matrix, and then we have to display the original matrix. So let's do it. We'll say system.out.println, and we'll have to say output also. So output colon, that is one line. We go down and then we say system.out.println, and we'll say original matrix, and then again system.out.println, and since we are using overloaded toString, we'll simply say obj. So
Okay.
this should display the array. Okay, now we come to the main part, and that is, no, it's still not the main part. Now we come to the largest number
String.
and smallest number. So that we can do directly. Hold on, but we have to call the function once, isn't it? So we'll say
Yes, sir.
obj matrix, no, what was the name? Obj only. We'll say obj dot compute first maximum we have to compute, and we'll say that we want to have it from 0 0 because this is for the entire array. So this will be calculated,
Yes, sir.
and now we have to print the number, row and column. So should we make a function to do it, or should we return each of these things individually? Let's make a function because that is what they are asking.
Yes, sir.
So we
So we
won't
can we
do
should
it.
make a function.
So let's don't do it over here. I'll remove it from here. We'll just say obj dot show max details, right? So we'll go over here and we'll say public void show max details, and this function is going to display the details. So the details are, before we display the details, we'll first call the function so that the details are calculated. Obviously we don't have to say obj, we'll simply call the function directly, and then we'll have to print it. So system.out.println, what was the message? Message was largest number followed by the largest number. Okay, let's copy this. This will make our job easier. So we come over here and I'll say print. So largest number is max, right?
Yes.
And then again a copy paste, and then slash t, row is equal to, where is the row stored? Max row, right?
Yes.
So this is also taken care of. Then we again paste it, and this time again we add one slash t, and then here you will say max column. Max column. So this is also done. That takes care of the first thing. And then we'll make
Yes.
for the smallest also, and again that will be a copy paste thing. So I'll copy, I'll paste, and the difference will be all the maximum will become minimum. So instead of max, I'll call it min details. Compute max will become compute minimum, full na, min, minimum.
Yes.
Minimum, is the spelling correct? Yes, it is. And then largest will become smallest, max will become min, row will become row, but this will become min row, and this will become min, min column, right? So this is done. Max, so show max details, show min details. So show max details and then show min details. Now we come to the main part, that is sorting. So we'll say obj dot sort ascending. So that will be the name of our function. So let's move over there. So we'll call it, and this will be going to be a very small function. Why? Because the most important part was computing the minimum, which has already been done. So let's go to the end, and here we'll say public void sort ascending. We'll call the function. Okay, now let's begin. So what we have to do, obviously we have to swap, so we have to take a temporary variable. Now we are actually using selection sort. We select the minimum position, swap it with at the first place, then we find the minimum position in the remaining array, place it at the second place, then the third place, and so on. So our first loop will run for the number of rows. So we'll say int row is equal to 0, row is less than m, row plus plus. So this is our first loop. Then our second loop will be int call is equal to 0, call is less than n, call plus plus. So this for second row is done, and now we'll compute the minimum position. We'll say compute minimum position. So minimum position will be computed, but where we want to start from? We want to start from the row and column. So we'll say row over here, and we'll say column over here. So this function will be called. It will store the minimum in the variable min, and the row and col will go into min row and min column. Once that is done, we just have to swap. So we'll say temp is equal to a of wherever the minimum is, which is stored in min col, min row col. Okay, done?
Yes.
And then this value will be equal to the a of row and col, a of row col, and then we'll place the temp back into this variable. So this will become temp. So any doubts in this? Is it logically okay? Now this is not looking like a sorting thing because we have actually divided our thing into two parts. And please note, this this minimum function is actually helping in the part B also, and it is helping in the part D also. Clear? Now let us see whether this program runs or not. We have written the entire program without actually running it in between. This is not what we normally do, but anyway, I believe this is straightforward, so it should work. So Control Shift I to indent it properly, Control S.
So don't we have to display the sorted array?
Oh yes, we forgot. Okay, then that's not a big deal. So where is the thing? We have sorted the thing and now we have to print it again. So we'll just copy this portion, paste it again, and what was the message? Rearrange, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll just copy rearranged matrix and we'll just change the message. We'll call it rearrange matrix. So that should do the job. Let's try it out. So I'll first run it. And let us give the worst possible case. That means we'll give the array in reverse and see whether it is becoming in ascending order or not. That will be easier to check. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
So we'll say number of rows. Oops, where's the cursor gone? Oh, I've typed it over there. Here. Number of rows is equal to, let's say, 3. Number of columns is equal to 4. So how many values are there? 12. So we'll enter it in reverse order. So 12, 11, then 10, then 9,
9.
then 8, 7, 6, 5, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. We press enter and let's see what has been displayed. Original matrix is this. Okay, no problem. At 12th position, row 0, call 0 is the highest. Agreed. At row 2, call 3. Row 2, call 3 is the minimum, which is 1, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Done. Any doubts? Yes.
So in the output we have to display row 2 call 3 or row 3 call 4, like.
Let me check. I think it is like this only. Let me check. So if we see their question, this is a very nice question which you raised. So they are saying that, where is it? Row 0 call 2 is the minimum 9. Row 0, no, it is saying row 0, so it's okay.
Yes, it is saying.
It's
Yes,
not
sir.
one based. Actually, they also want to see whether we can think in this on these lines or not. Make a function and then use it for a different purpose.
Yes, sir. So actually it
And actually, if you don't do it in an object-oriented way, you have to write more in this.
Yes, sir. So today I also learned a new technique for sorting 2D array.
No, this is
Yes.
not a new technique. I mean, this is just selection
But
sort.
a new approach. Yes, sir, but a new approach.
Or just you say just the scenario is changed. The method is still
Yes,
the
sir.
same. You search for the minimum, place it at the correct place. That is why it is known as selection sort. First select, place it. Select, place it. Okay.